Hello, homeschool friends. Welcome to this episode of the Homeschool High School Podcast. I'm Sabrina Justison, and I'm happy to be here today with two of my sisters.
Vicky and
Kim.
Yay!
Yay.
And
They slept through the last episode, but we do have some seeing eye puppies in the next room. So, you never know.
Okay.
You hear a little jingle of a collar or a little yip or something here and there.
All
That's
right.
a tradition of ours is
That's
having
right.
night puppies on podcast episodes. So that works.
Sure is.
That's right. For many years. They are
Mhm.
wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. So we are recording this episode in the very early part of a new year. And we thought that talking about New Year recalibration, not resolutions, but New Year recalibration might be a helpful topic for some of you. This was definitely an important part of my homeschooling experience, especially coming into high school, was to take that. I was always super excited and planning for the beginning of the academic year, but then to take the new calendar year mark as a spot for recalibrating. How about you ladies? Was that a thing that you always wanted, something you came to later?
Oh, I learned quickly that especially with high schoolers, January is a good time to toss curriculum and things that aren't working. Remember time management skills, just for me personally, especially the time management part. But also for everybody to just have a sit down and do like around here we call them mid-year reviews, what's working and
Absolutely. And where are we with everything that we're doing?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. It can be very easy to lose a sense of forward motion in your homeschool. You can feel very, seeing all the trees, but kind of forgetting the forest and that you are moving through it. And so a new year recalibration can be a really good thing. So let's kind of break this. You know me, I like to break things into little categories and look at the global and whatever.
Yeah.
So when I take a giant step back from the idea of doing this recalibration in January, what I see as being the primary things that you get out of that is, one, you stop and take a breath. And right after the holidays, that's important. We often try to just roll right from all of the extra that comes with the holidays and just roll right back into the normal as if we never had all that extra. And that's not very healthy. I had a very wise person recently say to me, I got to the end of a really big project and I had been planning toward the beginning of a new project. And so my whole thing for a couple of months had been, as soon as I just got to get to the finish line. I just got to get to the finish line. And then I got to the finish line and I realized that I had no idea how to start the next race. And my very wise friend looked at me and said, Sabrina, if your finish line is also your starting line, you're going to fail every time. And that was so helpful. So this idea of the holidays being packed with a whole lot of wonderful stuff, but it's extra. And we get through that. We need to take a breath. So taking a breath is the first thing that I think is a great benefit. But then within categories under that, there's a chance to recalibrate academically. There's a chance to recalibrate as a family. And there's a chance to recalibrate as a homeschooling parent within yourself. So is it okay if we kind of break this into those three areas, academics, family, and our own personal identity?
All right. That's a great point.
Yay. Well, let's start with academics. Vicki already mentioned it's a great time to get rid of curriculum that's not working for you. You used to have a blog post that was 50 ways to, what was it, 50 ways to ditch, ditch your school book. Yeah.
We had, when we were just starting out high school, we did so many textbooks for things like chemistry and, stuff that I want to make sure we're doing right. And I remember one year that the chemistry book was so bad that even my oldest son, who has kind of a science brain, was going like, I can't even do this, put down. And it was a used book we picked up, at the end of the year book sale at the homeschool group. And so I said, well, then we're ditching it. And you know what? He drew pictures all over the page with mustaches on, the scientists. Felt like that was not going to be recycled to another homeschooler. He prevented that altogether. We ditched that one.
There's a time and a place. There's a time and a place to draw mustaches.
And so important to have a sense of humor with it all. Don't take ourselves too seriously.
That's right.
Yeah.
Kim, I think you hold the record within Seven Sisters for the most attempts at it. Was it geometry curriculum that was going to be a good fit?
Yeah, I think we got it was either 7 or 8 until we got to one that kind of worked. Yeah, that was a rough season. But it was worth going through all of those. And I actually have to thank both of you, because I don't know if I would have really thought about the idea that it is okay to ditch something if it's not working, which, if you know me, I'm a very flexible person. Even the most flexible of us, we still get stuck in places where we don't realize we're stuck sometimes. And instead of like ending up with a bloody forehead from banging against the wall all the time, try something different.
Yeah, we can fall into shoulds.
Yes,
we push through on this and get this done.
And just to be clear, friends, sometimes you should.
Yes. Right.
You know it, though. You know it. It comes out of your prayer life. It comes out of your time with the Lord. It comes out of your conversations with your spouse. It comes out of your conversations with your kids. There are times when you recognize that the problem here is a lack of perseverance and discipline. Yeah. And we do need to push through this. But that is not a universal thing by any means.
Well, the point being is when you stay in prayer about it, then it's easier, and have a community you can talk about things with, So we're also blessed to have our community we can run ideas by. Yeah, sometimes our teens need to push through.
Yeah.
So sometimes you need to get a school book and try until you find something that will work. So, and in Kim's case, it may have taken 7 geometry curricula for some of the teens, and all of your teens are adults and are doing just fine. So the world did not end because it took different times.
Absolutely. And Vicki also is the one who helped us decide there was a time that we should stick with a certain class and a certain teacher for, I think it was physics, which was just way over the heads of my kids that were taking it at the time. And we decided the important lesson there was to learn how to do hard things. Learn how to learn from a teacher who is not a good fit with your learning styles or whatever, and learn how to be graceful with yourself and other people.
Yeah.
Yep.
So pick your battles for sure, and trust yourself and trust the Lord on that stuff.
Yeah, we keep saying over and over, because this is real life, there's not one right way.
Yeah.
We cannot give anybody a formula and say this is how you have to handle your teens, because every teen is different, and we are different. Seasons of life are different, and that's why we need periods where we do recalibrate.
Yeah. So before we move on from academics, one other thing that I would recommend to folks who are doing a New Year recalibration is to consider whether something like a different class format might be a good fit. If the first half of your year is burning you out as a homeschool parent, or if the first half of your year has shown you that your student is really growing in some social and relational ways, but doesn't have enough opportunities to explore that and to build on that, it's okay to jump into a co-op at this mid-year point.
Oh yeah.
Academic mid-year point. It's okay to decide to go with an online class, because that kind of format where your student could really work independently of you for a time. This is a great time to throw in a one semester class that is in a totally different format than what you've tried.
Great thought.
Yeah. All right, so we touched on academics. Let's talk about recalibrating family. And I guess the main thing I'm thinking about here is when we homeschool, it is a whole lifestyle. It is not just an educational choice.
Mhm.
And it impacts all sorts of other things, our finances, our scheduling, our literal physical space within our houses, all of that. And so as a family, we are all being impacted in multiple ways.
Mhm.
And I think that the mid-year point academically at the beginning of a new calendar year is a great time to look at how are things like meal prep and grocery shopping going?
Yeah.
How are things like housework and chores for everyone? Are we working together well as a family to live and thrive within this homeschooling lifestyle? Thoughts?
Yeah, family meeting time. I mean, my kids used to hate family meetings, so I guess we didn't do them super well. But I think it was just kind of, like an iconic thing, and but it's a great time to have a family meeting and just really sit down and we would review at the end of our school year in our umbrella school with I love this, we did yucks and yahoos.
Yes,
So
I
I
love
think
that.
that's kind of a fun way to do it with your family, where it's not so serious, it's not so judgy, but it's just like, what's a Yahoo? What's feeling good right now?
Mhm.
And then, all right, what are the yucks? And then let's not leave them yucks. Is there something we can do to tweak this yuck, to turn it into a Yahoo, or at least a to get through the year? Sometimes meh is the best you can do for something, and it's okay
Oh
to kind of
my gosh,
to
So
that,
true.
right?
we
Yeah.
need to do an episode with yucks, yahoos, and
And
meh.
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 Absolutely. All right, somebody make a note of it.
All right, I'll put it on the t-shirt list. Oh wait, I'm on
Yes.
the phone. Yeah, 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 yeah. But
Oh
just
my.
or just give everyone a chance to share, and the dynamics of your family. So does that mean you all sit down together? Does it mean are there several loud people who talk out loud, think out loud? And
Mm,
is there somebody in your family who's quiet? So if there is, are you making mechanisms for the quiet people to have as much input?
yeah.
And maybe they need to reflect a little bit before they're ready to share something. And if you don't enable them to have that input, all of you are missing out.
We
Right.
didn't have access to this, but wouldn't it be fun to do a family meeting on Zoom?
Ah,
And then you can have the chat going,
Interesting.
while you have everybody on the screen. So two levels of discussion.
oh,
I love it.
funny.
I love it. That's a very interesting theory. If any of you have done that in your families, please let us know.
Oh, let us
Email us
know.
or grab us on Facebook or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a very interesting idea. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, as a homeschool parent, recalibrating was important for me
Mm.
mid-year every year.
Yeah.
And the main reason for that is that my personality, I'm an Enneagram 2, I'm an INFJ. I am forever taking everybody's temperature in the scenario and trying to figure out what they need. And once everybody is taken care of and we're in a good, we're moving toward our vision, right? I can see our life together in alignment with our vision. Then I go, I've been sick on and off for the last 6 weeks. I'm not exercising. I haven't been eating well. I'm not good. I haven't had the chance to sit down and have a cup of coffee with Kim in I don't know how long. Like,
Mm.
so for me, I needed to do it because I'm not great at self-care intuitively. I've gotten better as I'm getting older. I'm still working on it. But for those of us who are wired that way, it can be really important to see if you're taking care of yourself. Because if you crumble, it's not going to make it easier for your homeschool. It's definitely going to make it harder. So,
Right. Yep. Yep. And you're modeling good life skills for your
yeah.
students, your family. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is a good point, and it gives us an excuse. Those of us that are INFJs and Enneagram 2s. How did we end up with two people with that in Seven Sisters?
It's a little weird.
Yeah, that gives us permission to do the self-care a little better because we need to role model it for our
That's right.
families. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's right.
Like,
So friends, as you are coming to that beginning of a new calendar year, or if you're not and you're listening to this in July, still tuck it away in the back of your mind, because it is important to do these periodic points of recalibration for your family academically, for your family as a homeschool lifestyle corporately, and then for yourself as an individual who is trying to lead that homeschool. And it is not only okay to stop and then change things, it's really wise. And again, back to the modeling, you're modeling something really important for your kids, to not just stay in something where they're getting the bloody forehead and it is not in line with the vision, you know? So all of this stuff, your kids are learning from watching how you homeschool just as much as they're learning from your homeschooling efforts.
Oh my.
Ooh, that's another good one. That was good. Wow.
There's a nugget.
Yeah. So with that nugget, we will leave you to think deep thoughts about recalibration, and maybe go for a walk while you're doing it, because going for a walk is often a very good idea. Yeah. And we hope that you find lots of success growing out of your willingness to stop and take a breath and look at what's working for you. Yeah. So thank you for being our seventh siblings. Thank you for connecting to us at sevensistershomeschool.com. And we hope you will tune in for future episodes of the Homeschool High School podcast. And we are grateful, as always, for the Ultimate Homeschool Podcast Network that sponsors us.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Yeah.